he gave some really good suggestions on software and how to learn and where to go. So then I started off with taxes.
I love bookkeeping.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the I Love Bookkeeping show. This is your host, Ben Robinson. Hope you're doing very well today. We have a very special guest with us. She hails from Southern California. This is really cool. She's a certified skydiver. She loves the clarity of jumping out of airplanes. That is very clear until it's not clear. She has a bookkeeping practice. She got that way just kind of by default when she had a tax client ask her to get ready for tax season. She is a nerd. She loves systems and processes and workflows. So I think that she says she's a bookkeeping nerd and she loves systems. She has a dog named Liberty and a cat named Sky. We always like to talk about our pets on the I Love Bookkeeping show. Without further ado, welcome to the I Love Bookkeeping show, Alyssa Lang.
Hi, I'm super excited to be here today.
Yes, we are excited to have you here. As always, we speak with bookkeeping professionals about challenges and just kind of getting a glimpse inside of your life. So let's kind of start there. So are you originally from California?
Yes, I am.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I love it down here. It's beautiful. It's expensive though.
It is, right? But you're paying for that that's a beauty tax, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now, how long ago did you start your bookkeeping business?
So the bookkeeping side of it is probably about 2 years. The tax side is this is my 4th season. Like you had said in the introduction, I actually started off with taxes and then grew into bookkeeping. So I've had my business for almost 4 years. September will be 4 years, but then the transition into bookkeeping was about 2. And BBL, I signed up I want to say it's like 2 days is my 1-year anniversary of BBL.
Oh,
funny.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how did you get into taxes? Was that something you done?
No, actually, I started off taking law courses in school, and then I had to take an accounting course. It was required. And as I fell into the accounting course, I fell in love with it. I had a tax preparer who I just was picking his brain while he was doing my taxes. And he was like telling me some great things, saying like the money could be good, on the side, during that part of the year. And I was really interested in it. I've always been good with numbers. And then he gave some really good suggestions on software and how to learn and where to go. So then I started off with taxes, and then that kind of grew. And then that's how I got into bookkeeping. Was a client asked me to help prepare their taxes or their books for getting their taxes done. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I love this so much more. You don't have people asking, where's my refund every 5 minutes? Like, it's the best feeling. It's just doing the books and knowing I'm helping the businesses. It's great.
That's awesome. So which side do you like best? Do you like the tax or the bookkeeping?
Bookkeeping, hands down. I don't even market the tax anymore at all. It just keeps on growing because of how many clients I already have from that. But I prefer to only do bookkeeping. But I keep my tax clients and bring on new people when they come to me. Do
you find it a good relationship where, hey, it's easier to get clients that way because you offer both, or do you notice any difference?
No, actually, you know what? I don't prepare the taxes for people I do the books for because I think that there's beauty in having a second pair of eyes on the books that I prepare. So when people come to me and they say, I see you do taxes and books, I say, I know that you can see that part, but unfortunately it's either one or the other. And I explain to them and then they respect my answer. But I tell them I work very closely with other preparers that I can hand, off, communicate with and make sure that they get the right information from.
Oh, that's a great thing. So how many bookkeeping clients do you have right now?
I have 12 altogether.
Okay. Wow. Are all of those monthly?
I have a little sticky note right here. I think about 4, 5 are monthly, and a couple cleanups. One of them I actually do in trade for my hair.
My
hair.
Nice. Barter for hair care.
Right? Exactly.
Hey, whatever works for you there.
Right.
Do you have any team members that work with you?
Yes. So I have 3 VAs and I have one bookkeeper, and then I have another bookkeeper that I just contract. I literally bring someone on and I fully let her take all reins on it. And then she comes back, we do the billing and that kind of stuff. So that's a really good feeling.
Okay. And just so people know, you also have another business, which I find to be very interesting. Tell us about Workflow Queen, right? Workflowqueen.com.
Yeah, so that kind of fell on my lap as well. I was applying originally for a CPA in Texas, and we had hopped on a screen share. He had seen my Asana and how I had to have everything set up in my systems, processes, and workflows, because we were talking about me potentially working for him. And I don't know how it just expanded out where we were able to see the screens and whatnot. And next thing you know, he called me 2 weeks later and said, "You know what? I loved your systems. Instead of coming to work for me, would you be willing to build out all of this stuff?" And then it strikes something in my head. I posted something on another group, and someone had said something about how people need this in our industry because we're lacking. Nothing works for us. No system is built to tailor for recurring tasks for what we do every day. So that's when I decided, you know what, like I'm going to start doing this and helping others. So establish the business. I've already helped to build Asana's out for other bookkeepers and accountants. Then I decided that I wanted to do a course for people who couldn't, necessarily pay for the higher end one-on-one service, but instead do it with me. I'd show you on the videos and all that fun stuff. So it's been hard to juggle. So those VAs have been saving my life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've talked about that a number of times on the Allo Bookkeeping Show, just the power of a VA.
Yeah. And you're the reason why I hired all the VAs, to be honest. All of your shows, you talk and talk about outsource. So little things, I just give it away. And it is the best feeling to just know that I don't have to work with it and I relinquish all activities to them and they just come back and say it's done. It's awesome.
That's awesome there. So let me ask you this, because I know a lot of bookkeeping professionals listen to this show, and that's a sticking point for them, as it is for me, thinking, hey, I'm the only one that can really do this. Did
Yeah.
you have a struggle with that?
You know what? At first, especially when it came down to like me going through, and I'm the original contact with my clients. I'm the original first conversation. I think that what happens is we get stuck in our head and we tell ourselves that I'm the only one who can do it. But the only reason why is because you haven't documented it. You start
Mm,
to write down every conversation you ever have with your client, when you had them, the keynotes, what's going on, then someone else can pick it up. I was listening to a podcast and some girl had said something along the lines of have your workflows and systems and processes so set up that if you got hit by a bus tomorrow, that someone could come in and pick it up where you left off. So it was hard a little bit at first until I decided I need to just let people go. Then the tasks, and it got addicting when people were taking them over and doing them, and I could focus on what I wanted to. It became a game. So then now I just want to outsource everything.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, it does get addictive, but it's something like mowing the grass. You always have to come back to it because I'll find, oh, now that I gave those things away, there's more stuff that I could give away, but I hold on to them.
Yeah, it's hard to just to relinquish because sometimes I do think that I am the only one who could do something, but I mean, someone else out there offers the same service as me, and they're doing it. So obviously, other people can do what I can do. Maybe
Yeah,
not the value part of it, but the job, yes, absolutely.
yeah. So do you have an office or do you work from home?
I work from home.
Ah,
Yeah, I get my two best employees of the month, Sky and Liberty.
yes, there you go.
Yeah, I work from home. Yep.
So, what is your favorite thing about first working from home?
I think the fact that I can kind of be in all in one spot. Like if I need something, I can go to lunch. I just go to write down literally a couple steps. The bedroom's right there. Like one day, if I just need to take a nap, I can. But then that's also not really the best thing because then you're stuck here all the time, and you need
Hmm.
to get out and go for walks, and thank God, for the dog and stuff, and being able to go do that kind of stuff. But it's like a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Yeah,
It's a little hard.
absolutely. Having that dedicated space, I have one in my house, and I can't seem to use it for its dedicated reason. Right? It just seems like I can always go to work. So while it's
Right.
wonderful, it's also a double-edged sword. So, but I tell you what, I would not trade having to go and fight a commute,
Oh,
especially
absolutely.
where I live or where you live. Even
Hmm.
it's the traffic is horrible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a lot better than it is bad.
Oh yeah, I had a client I worked with in Inglewood, which was about I had to leave at 4 in the morning, and I was on site, and it was so rough. It was rough every day, and it was tiring.
Yeah, I can't stay up to 4 in the morning anymore, so I won't be taking that gig right there.
Right?
Yeah. So okay, so favorite thing about having your own business versus working for somebody else.
The fact that I can kind of make my own decisions. I get to decide um, how hard I work, which also can be a downfall too, because if I don't work hard every single day, then it might affect me a month or two from now. Sometimes I do wish that I had someone just telling me what to do, because it can be overwhelming having that always making the decisions. But at the same time, I love that I get to make all the decisions. At the end of my day, I don't want to answer the question of what do you want for dinner? I made too many
Yeah.
decisions.
Yeah.
But I love that I can actually make my own decisions all day and, have those decide on what I'm going to do and how I'm going to set it up and not having someone micromanaging me and telling me I'm doing something, not how they like it. And so I really like that.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I can empathize with you there because, yeah, be talking about, hey, where do you want to go to dinner with my kids or something? I'm like, I don't want to have to choose. Somebody just choose, right? So I can totally get that. All right. So let's do a little transition here because obviously you have built a very successful business. But obviously, as we grow our bookkeeping businesses, we face new challenges every day. But depending on the phase. So before we actually get into that, where is it that you want to take your business? Like in 3 years out, where do you want to be?
So for my bookkeeping practice, I want to be at from a large overview, I want to be able to have a good chunk of clients, but not a massive number of them. So I can be a little bit more one on one and actually be guiding them and helping them to grow in their business. So my vision for my business is really doing that advisory service versus just constantly being in there and doing the work, being able to reach out to more people and hopefully guide them a little bit better at what they're doing so that way they can fix their problems. We're all having business problems and it would be nice to be that person that to help them.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what we're in. Any business is in the problem solution business, right?
Yeah.
And so that's good. So in terms of like size, would you want to double your business, triple your business? How
Yeah.
big from where you are
So
today?
I think from a client perspective, I think that you can have two clients and have a large revenue, like monthly revenue, but at the same time, you can also have 100 clients and have the same revenue. I would rather work with a smaller number of clients, higher paying clients, that I'm going to be more one-on-one service where they're going to get that conversation with me and we're going to do things together. I'm going to hold their hands versus trying to get every client. I'm finally at a point where I'm saying I don't take certain clients. I've learned along the way, and so I've gotten to that point, and so now I know what I want. Versus before, I learned this in my tax side of business. Like I just wanted to take anybody and everybody, and now it's a whole different scenario.
Oh yeah, that's the first when you're first starting off. If the potential client can fog a mirror and pay the bill, heck, take them on.
Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's about getting that revenue, but then you get more selective, obviously, as
Yep.
time goes on.
Hmm.
Okay, so knowing kind of where you want to go with your business, grow it, but not in terms of client size, but revenue, and serve clients in a deeper manner. What's the challenge? What's the biggest challenge that you face today?
Work-life balance, 100%. I struggle with that every single day, and it's it weighs a little bit on me. Unfortunately, missing out on friends and family and things with, like my man and all that kind of stuff. It's really overwhelming to try to balance all of it because I love what I do. So that is where my number one struggle is every single day. And I don't want to get to a point where I'm just so stuck in the business that I miss out on everything around me. So that's my number one struggle.
Okay. Have you ever done like a perfect day, written it down, what that would look like for you?
I think about it all the time, but I've never written it down.
Yeah. Yeah. So and so partly let me just go ahead and get this out of the way. I'm a little bit of a hypocrite on all this because I kind of live that life too, right? And so continue to have to try to come back to how do I, because I love what I do. I truly love what I do. But I know that I'm not totally defined by my work. It is a very big part of what we do, but it's not the biggest thing. So being intentional about this is what I have found to be, and again, I struggle with it. But being intentional about it is of utmost importance. It's like our health, right? If we if we want to get healthier, then we have to be intentional about it. We have to say, I'm going to go to the gym come hell or high water. I'm going to have to eat right, even though I don't want to, easy for me to say after I just had fried chicken for lunch. Right. But anyway, do as I say, not as I do. So one thing I would encourage you here, the first start, is to kind of write down what does a day and a week, an ideal week, look like to you from a work perspective, and then a life perspective, and putting the life first. So I know that one of your hobbies, you're a certified skydiver, right?
Yes. I haven't gone in a while because I've been so busy.
Okay, so here's one thing, a practical thing. I would tell you that, and make an appointment with yourself to either do that or do something that you want to do, and put that on your calendar. Yeah. Because if you don't, then it's just not going to happen. And even if you do put it on your calendar, you can easily skip over it. So I'd also tell you to find an accountability buddy that's going to hold your feet to the fire. And if you don't go and do this. Yeah.
Definitely. I have that. I live with that every day, actually. My man tries to keep me very grounded. He does a really good job. And you're right about the whole accountability buddy. I really need that every day, because if he wasn't here to tell me, hey, it's time, you can walk away, you need to enjoy yourself and enjoy life, I feel like I wouldn't actually do it. I could sit here every single day from 5 o'clock in the morning until 12 o'clock at night, every single day, if I didn't have somebody to tell me, hey, it's time to get it together. But I like the idea of scheduling on my calendar, this is what you're going to be doing, because I know that if you take your time, if you have 24 hours in your day, but you only give yourself 10 hours to do something, you'll actually complete that something in 10 hours. But if you gave yourself 24 hours, you will complete it in 24 hours. So limiting my time and maybe giving an appointment for myself of my date for myself, go do something, get out. Don't look at my phone. Don't look at my laptop. And it's so easy to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it starts with being intentional. So I would just tell you first exercise, and I'm probably going to go do this too after I get off with this, is to go and actually write out, hey, what does a day look like? When do I get up? When do I work well? For me, like, I work really well. My brain is really functioning from about an hour after I get out of bed. I don't know, something with the 2 cups of coffee, I think has to do that. For about the next 3 to 4 hours, I'm really good. And then I start to fade. So if I'll go to the gym, then I come back and I get another hour or two of very brain power type of work. Yeah. Because what we do, it's not like since data entry is not, we don't have to do much of it anymore. Yeah. It takes a lot of brain power. Yeah. And so combining, like, when you're at your mentally sharpest with when you need to be your mentally sharpest, and then the rest of the time you can schedule either play dates with yourself, right? Kind of sounds weird, but play dates, just kind of like going out there and doing things that you enjoy, because, and this is really, really something goofy. Like, I'm not a bowler at all. If you saw me bowl, you would laugh. But every Friday now, I go bowling. It is the goofiest thing, but it just takes my mind away. Like, one day it was raining, I was like, "There's nothing to do. Go bowling," right? Yeah. I mean, it's something totally goofy, but I tell you, after those, I have ideas that come up, and just letting my brain expand a little bit from there is huge. So,
definitely. I think that's. Fishing has been the thing lately. I just got introduced to fishing, and when we were up there, it was the best feeling, because there's nobody there. There's no service, and you're just catching. And I was catching them left and right, caught my first fish, and I was super excited, and it was the best feeling. I'm not gonna lie. I brought a notebook that day for just in case if I wanted to write like ideas about what I have going on. And I was like, I'm not even gonna open that notebook. Like, I'm just gonna enjoy nature, enjoy not having service. And, that would be my ideal life, is on the weekend, not being anywhere near reception and somewhere where I can just break away. And, like, I thought that working every day would make things move faster, but in all reality, you need a break, because when I took that break the next day, I had way more motivation and way more brain power to use, because I finally rested for a little bit.
Yes. And absolutely, because, like, right now I'm at the end of a cycle where my brain has just been going, and I can tell I need time off, because things that used to require 10 minutes are now requiring like an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm just, for like the next 3 weeks, I can't. But after that, I've got a month where I can. And so I also, in the context of your business, I've started doing these sprints for 4 to 5 weeks where I'm going to work really hard for 4 to 5 weeks on specific projects. And then I'm going to take the same amount of time, not off, but where I'm really slowing down, where I may be only working 4 hours a day, 4 days a week, 4 by 4. Now, knock on wood that I can get there, but you may want to consider the same thing. One of the things that you mentioned, well, obviously the business that you have or the instruction that you have helping bookkeepers with their systems, workflowqueen.com. Love that, by the way.
Thanks.
The great thing about that business is that it's not, autopilot, but it's semi-autopilot.
Yes.
And it's kind of like our course, right? And so the old saying is internet marketing, work 80 hours a week so you can make money in your sleep, so it's a lot of work, but that right there could help you to not have to have as many clients and have your money or have your business running without you having to be there all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would tell you, as somebody who creates courses, that that's a great way for you to build that business while still keeping your foot in the bookkeeping business as well.
Yeah, and that's honestly one of the reasons why I even wanted to do the course, was because I'm trying to teach people workflow systems and processes, and I'm trying to implement and tell them that you need to break away a little bit. You need to give yourself time to grow and not just work in your business, but on your business. And I wanted to create something that, it's been a lot of work. It has been so crazy. I don't know what I would have done without my 3 VAs. Like, putting this thing together has been so hard and a very large learning experience. But I put in a lot of hours, maybe, 80 hours, to gain back a couple weeks of my time, because as soon as, stuff is out there, it does run, like you said, on autopilot. Other than student support, checking in and seeing how everything's going, I'm not putting in as much work, but I'm still maintaining my footage and my, where I'm at in that, teaching experience.
Sure. Yeah. What would you say is the most important thing about a workflow?
I think the most important is probably starting off with writing it all down.
Yeah.
That, and also like going through and deciding, like, one thing that I love to teach about is taking your time and writing down every little task, whether it's from switching to Facebook to check a group, switching to email, switching to whatever you're doing, because we switch all day, writing out from start to finish when you were doing it, the time, and understanding where you're spending your time every day, because we sit here and we don't realize that we spend 3 hours a day on Facebook. And in our industry, it's important sometimes. That's how I've gained actually almost all of my clients, is through social media. So it's important for me to be there, but I also need to do the work.
Yes.
So I think the number one thing is a lot of people don't know where their time is at. And I think they need to evaluate it, but they're scared to evaluate it because they know the truth.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
Yes, I agree. Well, I would tell you that also work-life balance kind of is the same thing. That was the leading question, is that writing it down that, hey, this is how I want to spend my time. And the great thing about it is that you can create that business, more important, that life that you want to, but you have to build your business around your life. You cannot build your life around your business. And that's where you and I both are right now.
Yeah, that's where I'm at for sure. I'm struggling with that. Absolutely.
And it's weird because the very thing that we wanted when we started this business, we wanted the freedom, we wanted the autonomy, we wanted the money. We've got it all now, right? But now it's a new challenge. And I was like, okay, the pendulum swung all the way over this side. Now let's get it somewhere in the happy medium. And so many people that haven't had their own business, they don't understand that struggle. They're like, well, I would like to have that struggle. Yeah, you would. But at some point you would get very tired of it, right? And so it's, again, it's like a roller coaster. You get over one hill, you start to come down, and then you go, oh no, here's another one right here. So I would just encourage you to start writing this down and scheduling. I believe that Stephen Covey talks about first things first, putting first things first. And that would be the first thing I do. As a workflow queen, I can guarantee you that you're also a schedule hound.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Everything I do. It's awesome.
Okay. So start to schedule these things in, right?
Yeah.
And I could be your accountability partner because I need that too. But in all seriousness, it's scheduling those first things first.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I would say that right after this call, that would be my first action item.
Yeah.
Is that, and then, so that's kind of short term, right? But then long term, that vision of where you want your business to go, setting for yourself guidelines, guardrails, if you will. So when you drive down the road, there's a yellow line on the left and a white line on the right. And we got to keep our car in between there. If we don't, there's serious implications. And so the same thing with you. What you want to do is to establish that yellow and white line for your business, for your life, and then let everything fit within those lines. Whether that be, should I take on this client? Well, do they fit within my lines? Do they fit? Are they going to help lead me toward the life I want to lead, or are they going to move me away from it? Nothing is neutral in life. It's either positive or it's negative. And so, really establishing that and keeping, why you want to do this in perspective is of utmost importance.
Definitely.
That makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Because another great thing is that as you build this business the way that you want, not only are you going to benefit from it from a personal perspective, but you're also going to benefit from it that you're also creating a business that's much more sellable.
Yeah, definitely.
Because people will buy businesses all day long. They don't really want to buy a job. And most bookkeeping businesses, when they're sold, if they can be sold, somebody's just buying a job, right? I'm going to sit in and I'm going to do all the work that you're now doing. Yeah. That's not a business. That's not a scalable business. That's just a job. So the added benefit, and sometimes we actually have to take a step back. We actually are going to be not making as much. It's going to be a little bit more work in the beginning. But over time, if we implement these things, it'll give us more time and it'll eventually give us more money. Yeah. But those are just kind of Ben's shortcuts right there. Things to do. But really being intentional about it, that's the big thing right there.
And that's hard. I think that's the hardest part is actually holding yourself even like you said, accountability buddy has a great idea, a good way for me to be able to say, hey, make sure that I take these days. Like tomorrow I'm taking the day off. So I compiled all my work into 4 days. And I think I need 5 days, but really I got away with 4 days worth of work. And it's mind blowing that if I just take it and squeeze it into a little spot, I can make it happen. It's just taking those breaks. But like tomorrow, I already think like I have so much I have to do. I don't want to be in that space. I want to be in that other space tomorrow. Not worried about what's going on with business and what's going on with everything else and my clients and where everything's at. I think that that's hard to do at the beginning, but you get used to it, I guess.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And what you said earlier, it's a rule or something or a principle. I can't remember exactly what it is, but basically work expands to fill the time that we've given it.
Yes.
And you said that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you say 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, you're going to take 5 hours a week, 8 hours a day, but say, all right, 3 days a week, 6 hours a day. Oh, right. Chances are you're getting that done. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You learn to zero in on what you're going to do because you have less time. Like we're all so good at procrastinating. The reason we procrastinate is because we know that we can do it and we can still accomplish what we need to. So why not apply that? So instead of trying to give yourself a 4-week deadline to finish, let's say you want to build a course, you want 4 weeks, give yourself 2 weeks. And it sounds crazy, but squeeze it in and make it happen. And you would be surprised what you're capable of when you're down to the wire.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So applying that same thing in your personal life.
Yeah,
that's what we need to do. And for every bookkeeping professional out there that's established, I would encourage you to do the same thing. Now, obviously, we do have our responsibilities, and we're not suggesting that we should, don't worry about it. Deadlines, right? We're not talking about being irresponsible. It's actually irresponsible not to take care of ourselves.
Yeah. Because
your clients rely upon you. And you have to be mentally sharp. My students, you being one of them, rely upon me. And if I'm not mentally sharpest, which I can tell you over the last week to 10 days, I've just gotten, I need that time off.
Yeah.
And, and it comes back. But you have, just like you said, being out there fishing. By the way, what kind of fishing was it?
Trout.
Trout. Oh, in the mountains?
Yeah, up in the mountains. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I had a blast. We're going to go this weekend as well. It's going to be a good weekend.
That's awesome. Yeah. Whatever it is, it's the form of escapism or downtime. That's not the thing to judge. It's whatever makes you happy, but something that recharges your batteries because you're pouring yourself into your clients every day. You're pouring yourself into your team every day, and you're giving away energy. And the only way that you can continue to do that is to pour energy back into yourself. And this is one of the ways to do that.
Yeah.
Obviously, exercise being another way, those sorts of things, and scheduling all these things and being intentional about it. Other than that, that's all that Ben has when it comes to it, because I struggle with it too. So if anything, misery loves company, Alyssa.
Yeah, right? That's why we're here, right?
Yeah. I'd love to hear, after you've had a month or two, I'd love to hear back from you on this, on how that's going, because I know that it won't be easy. Maybe and I'll report back to you on mine as well.
I'll make sure you're on top of it, and you can make sure I'm on top of it.
Yeah.
Starting tomorrow, but that was already set. That doesn't count.
Yeah. I'm putting on an intensive next week. So, but there's a thing, right? I wait. I know what I'm talking about. It goes in my head, right? But I know that I have to be ready by Wednesday morning next week, and it will be. It's not always pretty, but it's just another example of being intentional about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Alyssa, is there any other things that we can do to help you here today on the I Love Bookkeeping Show?
I think you covered. That's been my number one, I guess, challenge throughout this whole entire journey. That type of balance, and not even just work life, but also now two businesses, trying to do that kind of balance and not focusing. Try not to focus on just one. Now I have to balance the two, and it gets really, really overwhelming. And I guess I just have to learn balance in general.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a constant struggle.
Yeah.
There is a great book, and I'll have to find it and I'll put it in the show notes, but it's by John Wooden. And he talks about balance a ton. John Wooden was one of he may still be the most successful college basketball coach, won a ton of basketball championships with UCLA right out there by you. And he talks about balance being one of those things. And I can't remember the exact book. It's one of my favorites. Of course, now it escapes me. But he talks about that. And it's easy to say. It's very difficult to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just keep in mind that your longevity, your long-term success hinges on that.
Yeah, definitely. And it does. And I feel that shifting, like I said, for the example of the fishing this past weekend, I felt that shifting. It felt really good to have a clear mind and to start over. It is really important. I can have, my work flows into place all day, every day, but I won't stop working. And I need to have a break, a mental break, a time for me to get away and to think for myself. Like you said, we feel what our clients are feeling. We do what our clients want us to do. And it's like really exhausting. I may not do physical labor, but I use my brain more than sometimes I want. And some days after the end of my day, I'm like, blah, blah, blah. I'm just talking and saying really random things that or giggling about the most randomest things, because at the end of the day, I'm like, my brain is just so done.
Yes. That's why I can't watch heady TV shows. At the end of the day, because I'll work till 8 or 9 at night, I'll go and watch this, Will Ferrell comedy or something that requires, The Office.
Yep, The Office is fine.
Yeah. Or Parks and Rec, or just something that doesn't require you to think, right? I don't want to watch the heady shows that require me to think.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that for sure. That's exactly what I do.
Well, Alyssa, it's been a pleasure to be here with you today. I appreciate you coming on and playing along on the game show of I Love Bookkeeping.
I love the show, and I love your program. I think you've done something super phenomenal for everybody out there. I love it. I'm super honored. Like I said, this is my 1-year mark of BBL, and it's been a crazy year. I would have never, if you would have asked me 1 year ago if I would have been on the podcast, I would have laughed. Or where I'm at, it's just crazy that a year can do something. You just got to shift your mind and just make it happen every day. And it's been hard. It's not easy, that's for sure.
No. And if you'd have told me a year and a half ago that I would have had a podcast, I would have told you were crazy, right?
Or digital bookkeeper.
Yeah, I know. All of it's crazy. All right. So, Alyssa, thanks again for being here.
Yeah.
If you would like to find out more about Alyssa, you can go to tnbookkeepingsolutions.com or workflowqueen.com for all you bookkeepers out there that need some help with your workflows. As you know, we're really big into that.
Yeah.
And Alyssa has cracked that nut. So congratulations to you there.
Thank you.
Listen, if you would like to hear more great conversations just like today's, then I want you to head on over to ilovebookkeeping.com. There, you're going to find all of the shows, the notes, and some other great goodies that we have for you there. Now, if you'd like to be a guest on the I Love Bookkeeping show, there is a link that says Be a Guest. Go in there, and we'll walk you through the process of getting on the show. And finally, to discover more about our programs, go to the courses page on the ilovebookkeeping.com site. There you have it, another great episode of I Love Bookkeeping. Thank you for being a proud listener, and thank you for being a bookkeeping professional. Enjoy the rest of your week.
I love bookkeeping. Here's a little shout to all my friends working hard at keeping the books. You want to change your life, you want to grow that biz, it's not as hard as it looks. Be a money guide, a profit coach, step up your game and see. You'll be working less and making more, and that's the way it's gonna be.